gentlemen.
Uh-oh.
It's time for the Early Bird Special. Bringing you the best stories from the world of sports and sports entertainment. Now, here are your hosts, Sparky and Burdick.
Good Thursday morning, Bakersfield, surrounding communities, and everybody watching online on YouTube and Twitch. This is the Early Bird Special right here on this 7th of August. I am Chris Burdick. That is Sparky. Sparky, good morning, my friend.
Good morning.
And look at us both rocking our baseball caps today. I didn't even mention that yesterday, but Sparky's got his brand new Seattle hat on. Looks so nice in the green shirt. Fits everything very well. Very well.
Gosh.
Let them know what they're in for today, my friend.
We got a little bit of everything today. We'll get into some NFL news. We'll get into the fights at camp. We'll break down what we were talking about yesterday with the supposed ban of the smelling salts. Well, it's a bit confusing, but we'll get into that. We'll get into some crazy baseball stats and records from the day before. We'll get into some updated Giannis trade rumors that the Bleacher Report sent over. We'll have our buddy Dan Betts, the owner of the Well Comedy Club. He'll give us an update on the new location, when it's opening, any upcoming shows that they are doing, and we'll get into some other NBA news to wrap up the show. And we've got two more pairs of tickets to the Bakersfield Brunch Fest coming up October 11th at the Kern County Fairgrounds. And yesterday we did fantasy football names. Today, just text in your favorite 90s movie.
And if we find it suitable, we'll give you tickets, I guess.
You can win tickets before they even go on sale. And you can do that by texting in anytime during the show at 661-842-2000.
And I know some of you on YouTube are watching this late or any of that. We completely understand. Still comment down below. What's your favorite 90s movie? We'd love to hear it. We'd love to share it all across our platforms. Personally, what brought this about, Sparky before the show let me know, apparently they're making a Small Soldiers 2. In a list of movies that are long overdue for a sequel. Did not see that one coming whatsoever. So maybe we'll see the Gorgonites again here in the near future. I guess. I don't know. I don't even know how you're going to spin this. Do they even have action figures anymore?
I do.
Do they do that anymore?
I mean, I do, but I'm
I know, but they
man-child.
Like, they're not like when me and you were a kid. When me and you were a kid, action figures were awesome. That was the whole thing. You went and got the action figures
Hot
of
Wheels.
your favorite wrestlers, your favorite TV characters. If you didn't have an action figure of that character, you were not a true fan of that character. That's how it was when we were young.
I'm looking forward to the new Toy Story, actually.
They're making another one?
Yep. They are making a final Toy Story.
Yeah, right. Because
We'll
we heard
final.
The last four were the last
We'll say
finals.
final until they remake them.
That last one was supposed to be the final because they even separated them. Woody's not even with them anymore.
Well, this one is, I think, more about the Psycho Kid, Sid.
Oh.
So I think it's going a little darker, but Sid all grown up, and I think he has got a kid.
And Sid's kids' toys are now the ones being destroyed.
That's what I've read.
You know, have you actually, and I know we're a sports show. We'll get to the sports in a second. Dodger fans, don't worry. We're going to talk about Shohei Ohtani's 1,000th hit and everything. And of course, it was a home run. Good for you.
Was it?
It was a home run, yes. The only thing that I thought was funny, and I just learned this the other day, but did you get the innuendos around the toys that Sid made?
No.
Go back and watch. And watch it with an adult mindset. That's all I'm going to tell you. Look at all the ones that Sid made, and I promise you're going to get what I mean. It is way worse than you actually think it is. But let's get into some news because we got some football to talk about. We got some baseball to talk about. There's been plenty happening in the world of sports, including, let's start with this entire merger that we talked about yesterday between ESPN and the NFL Network, and namely Red Zone. We got a little bit more from Roger Goodell yesterday on what this potentially means, not only for Red Zone itself as a program, but all the programs involved in this merger. This first bite is from Roger Goodell. Let's hear from what he says for what this means for ESPN and Red Zone as a pairing.
Well, that'll actually stay the same. It'll continue to be produced right here in this building. it will be the NFL Red Zone. I don't think fans will see any difference to that. Obviously, in the context of that, though, ESPN purchased the Red Zone name, and they will be able to utilize that for other sports, college football and other things. And I think that could be an exciting thing for our fans also, to see a Red Zone maybe in college football or other sports. That's something that they now own and have the ability to do that. But as far as Red Zone, NFL Red Zone, there won't be any changes for our fans.
Which is a good thing. That's what everybody was kind of worried about going into this. You Red Zone fans were worried if they were going to change up the formatting. Are we going to get commercial-free football again? Are we going to have the same host? Are we going, how is this going to work? Luckily, nothing is going to change if you're a Red Zone fan. Sparky, I know, was talking yesterday, asking if he should go to the ESPN app or if he should just stick with DirecTV and get the smaller packages. Both options are available for you. If you are somebody who prefers it on your cable, go with what you were doing. If you prefer having an app where all of this is on the same thing, as I do, just pay the $30 a month to ESPN and move on and be happy with your life. What I'm happy about, and if you kind of caught that little tidbit in there, and I didn't even consider this because, to be honest with you, it never really was a thought process until right now, but we're talking college football Red Zone.
That'd be dope.
College
I would
football
watch that.
Red Zone. Ho.
I mean, I would watch Red Zone baseball if they had it.
That'd be interesting, but I don't know how you would pull that off.
Just swapping around 14, 15 games.
Yes, yeah, but you run the risk of like somebody going on a run right as you switch off of it. You know what I mean? It's kind of like basketball. I was thinking that when you said other sports, I realize they're trying to open the door to, merge with other sports, and obviously more sport fans that get eyes on a potential NFL product. More people are coming over to the NFL. We totally understand that. But sports like basketball and baseball, it would be kind of weird or difficult to pull off Red Zone, right? Unless maybe you would have situations where it's late in a game, you're watching a closeout for a baseball game. I could see that. Or you're seeing a team come back from 3-4 runs down. Obviously, something more in the exciting realm for baseball, but that still leaves a big old gap at time.
Yeah, and I mean,
love baseball.
When I had what was it, Full League or whatever, the court pass.
Yes,
and I would always bring up the 6 boxes.
Yes,
and be able to turn into it, and I could go to each game to hear the audio. Right. And it'd kind of be the same type of thing. But I think with baseball, I mean, especially with when you're a Mariners fan or a Dodgers fan and you don't have the proper cable,
right?
It would be kind of cool to be able to see, even if it was just one of those boxes where you can pick and choose from.
Well,
because a lot of the Mariner games I can't catch on Hulu,
right?
And they're trying to get me to get like Fubo or whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah, so you can tap into the local networks.
And there's so many apps on my smart TV that I'm having to delete a couple just to fit the extra one. But I'm excited more of the college football because I'm not I like Georgia, I like LSU, so I'll catch all their games.
Right.
But watching, prepping for the show, it would be awesome to be able to catch, all 800 games that are on.
It would be the easiest way, to keep up with college football. That's why I'm really excited about it. Everybody who complains saying there's too many teams to watch, there's too much going on, is the perfect spot. Live just like Sparky just broke down. You get about 12 games on the same screen, in which it'll pop up once every couple minutes when one of them gets to the red zone. It'll keep you excited. It'll keep you entertained. College football is one of the most electric atmospheres that America has. It really is. There is nothing that beats college game day on a Saturday. And I don't mean that
until the NFL takes over Saturday.
Well, naturally.
But no, I enjoy it. I would definitely, and now that makes me kind of move over. Maybe I don't get red zone with the Sunday ticket and I just bite the bullet and get the ESPN.
I see, and that's another question I was going to bring up to you too. Does this entice you more as a fan to buy it if we know that there's a potential doorway to college football, baseball, basketball, all being incorporated somehow,
of course,
into red zone?
I would.
I think so too.
And I think it pulls me away from getting the red zone. It's only like an extra $20, but I'm kind of forced as a Dolphin fan in California to get Sunday ticket. I've never missed a Dolphin game in 30 years.
Right.
And I'm not going to start this year, even though I've tinkered around it. But I think instead of getting the full package with the red zone, I'll just have to bite the bullet and pay an extra $10 and get the red zone with ESPN. on top of that, you get all of the extra additions, NFL Network, the NFL Network games we mentioned yesterday. There's going to be 8 or 9 games that'll be included into that ESPN package. And, in a year or so, when they get their first Super Bowl on ESPN, I mean, it's all in the world we're living in. And like my money wise guys would say, just be smart, be safe, be money wise. And maybe I need to cut down on a couple of the apps I really don't watch as much,
Honestly.
like the Discovery, and HBO Max is barely holding on. So I'd have to make a list of which apps I really need, because now I'm paying double of what I paid in DirecTV.
HBO Max got me to stay on because they had the live basketball and stuff like that during the winter. But outside of that, I have to agree with you. I
And
really
Hard
don't
Knocks.
watch. Yeah, Hard Knocks. That's true.
But I'm not going to watch Hard Knocks this year.
I'm not an HBO guy either.
Yeah.
Like, I don't go diving for different movies very often unless someone suggests one and I have to go find it. That's really usually what happens with me. But I agree with you. And honestly, I just keep thinking in my head, though, especially if you do move to sports like baseball. I'm glad you brought up teams like the Dodgers, because the Dodgers have their own network. So how would that work with them? Would you have the ability to even play Dodger games if you did this for baseball? You know what I mean? Like, and I think you would run into that issue with a couple baseball teams. I'm not sure how many of them actually have networks, but Dodgers for sure. That's usually one of the biggest gripes from Dodger fans, that you have to have that cable network. Otherwise, you don't get to watch Dodger games at all. Like, we have struggled playing Dodger games right here on this station because of that. So I don't know exactly the legal hurdles you're going to have to get over to actually do stuff like that.
Well, it's like if you have ESPN and now with the Dodgers network, it blacks it out.
Yeah.
So I'm like, maybe if we had a red zone, that maybe I don't have to watch the whole Dodger game, and we can just catch, the second half of the game or when it gets important.
Right.
But Goodell also runs on into, how excited he is to have NFL Network teamed up with ESPN.
I'm most excited for our fans. We really, truly believe this is going to be an unbelievable experience for our fans. The ESPN and the NFL Network and other NFL content, being able to come together. As you know, you all are so great at understanding what the fan wants. You're so great at the production side of this. This will be combined on larger platforms. The NFL Network, as well as some of our other important assets. I think this is just going to make the experience for our fans even better as we evolve this relationship. And it's something, when we see the innovation that ESPN always has and how we've grown together over the years and decades, this is really exciting for our fans.
I agree with him that this is a whole nother door that NFL fans get to walk through. ESPN has been the mecca of sports forever. It's nothing new. And I genuinely believe that just the NFL were realizing that the NFL Network was just kind of fading. It really was. Like, not a lot of people had cable anymore, so they really weren't watching it. And even if you did have cable, I'm sure most of the people who still had cable weren't buying the packages that you needed to have NFL Network. So obviously this carries over into that. I mean, there's a reason we stopped getting commercial-free football on Red Zone. And it's not because the NFL just sat there and decided, you know what, we're missing? Commercials.
Yeah.
Well,
it's definitely a positive thing for any sports fan, because, ESPN was almost on his way out. They were cutting down.
Right.
I mean, nobody was watching SportsCenter as much, and I think obviously getting in bed with the NFL is probably going to save your business.
Right. And again, so it was a mutual thing on both sides. Both of your networks were needing some sort of uplift and genuinely helping each other out here while giving the other a little bit of a cut of your pay. I don't see a problem with this, nor do I see it going bad. Now, the other questions that pop up, obviously, is how long this is going to be $30 a month, because I know a lot of wrestling fans that are not happy that they're going to have to go from $8 to $30 a month, especially since the WWE network was only $10 a month. I just, again, that is, I think, going to be the only thing that stunts you in the beginning, is all these people looking at your rates and saying, I have to pay how much for this?
Yeah.
Like,
yesterday, all over social media, they're posting, and you're going to have to pay, $1,600 a year.
Well, they said it was $500+ to be a wrestling fan now, or something like that.
For you wrestling fans, they did come out yesterday and said, if you already have ESPN Network on cable, or you have YouTube TV, Sling, Hulu with live ads, then you will be able to log into this new ESPN app and watch all the PLEs for free. So
That
they're
saves you.
trying to save at least some type of money until they raise the price on it.
So if you don't want to pay $30 a month for ESPN, go buy any of the other apps that we just mentioned right now, and you'll be fine. I mean, again, cable. We mentioned this yesterday. We're back to cable.
It's almost doubled.
It's a head scratcher to me. It really, truly is. But this is America, as Childish Gambino loves to tell us.
Well, maybe maybe you need some smelling salt. We'll take our first break, get into this smelling salt rule out of the NFL, as it's got a little different and more confusing for me, at least. We'll get into that and much more. And if you'd like to win a pair of tickets to Bakersfield Brunch Fest anytime before the end of the show, text in your favorite 90s movie to 661-842-2000. We are the early bird special.
Welcome back. This is the early bird special right here on ESPN Bakersfield. We told you yesterday as well, the NFL, or at least some of its players, George Kittle being one of the most outspoken ones, very, very concerned because the NFL had recently passed down a new rule saying that, well, club personnel can't provide any kind of ammonia-based inhalants to their players, which means smelling salts are gone. Well, at least that's what everybody thought. Apparently, the NFL has come down because the NFLPA has reached out for a little bit of a clearing up of what this means. The NFL has sent back that, well, we're just saying the clubs can't give it to you. You guys can bring your own. You guys could use it as long as you buy it. And all of this is stemming from a 2024 FDA warning that stated there was no evidence whatsoever that any type of ammonia inhalant or smelling salt actually benefits you, wakes you up, gives you energy. None of that is actually true, apparently. And there's some things that actually hint to it's possibly a receptive blocker that would, stunt them being able to find out if you have a concussion. It would be able to hide and mask symptoms of a concussion if they so had it. So ergo, let's say George Kittle was out there playing tight end, got knocked really, really hard in the head, but then grabbed a pack of smelling salts right before the people could actually evaluate him. He could pass the concussion protocol. So the NFLPA, the Spine and Neck Committee, and all of that have talked about it and said, okay, cool, this rule is fine. The Spine and Neck Committee say that this is just being banned because of the whole safety reasons and all of the concerns around the concussion symptoms and stuff like that being masked. I just don't understand why we're making this a thing. This, to me, sounds like the NFL is just saying, well, we can't harm you, but if you want to harm yourself, go for it, big guy.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. If you're not wanting them to use this, then you have to ban it from the clubhouse, period.
If you're going to bring it up as a health concern, is it a health concern, or are you just letting the kids do what they want? I mean, I've never used smelling salt. I known some football players, some teammates, they used it, and they would get all pumped up for about 5 minutes. And I didn't know what the health restrictions or if it caused any, long-term issues. But we've talked about players that almost use it constantly, like the Kittles and, some quarterbacks I know of. But I mean, if you're going to put your foot down and make a rule, either go 100% in or don't do it at all. But I mean, you would think the concern would be, I mean, if you're going to have the players on your team using it, wouldn't you rather have the health officials or your club knowing what they are giving the players be the one that gives it to them?
And you said it right there too. If we're prioritizing player safety, then why are you still allowing them to bring it themselves? It's like looking at a kid who's 18 and saying, you can't drink that alcohol, but if you bought it yourself, it's okay. And you walk away. That makes no sense. That doesn't make sense. If we are sitting here saying that you're prioritizing the player's safety and that you're trying to eliminate it from the field and from the clubhouses, because that's the whole thing, is that the trainers can't have it. Nobody on an NFL staff can touch anything ammonia inhalant based at all and use it on the players, period. It's not allowed in any place where NFL football takes place, practice, game, or otherwise. It's not allowed. But you're allowing George Kittle to walk in with a bag of it and use it during games because he brought it himself. And who says that he brought it himself? Not saying that George Kittle would ever, or the 49ers would ever do this to cheat, but more saying, how do we prove that he brought it himself or that he bought it himself? And if it's okay for him just to use it in the locker room, but it's not okay for the trainer to give it to him.
What's the difference?
There is none.
No.
He's still using it. So what stops him from, again, not saying he's going to do this or they're going to cheat by doing this, but say George puts said smelling salt packet in his glove, gets hit in the head, and then while on the field just happens to go, Here we go. We're back for football.
I'm good.
It's the same thing. You're still using it. And if there is issues with this long term, there's none cited. Make that very clear. It's not saying that there's super long-term effects, although I'm sure there are. But it's more citing that there are no positive effects to this. The energy giving and all of that, the alertness, it's not really what's happening. It's just waking you up for a second or for 5 minutes, like Sparky just said earlier. So
I'm sure they'll be talking about it for another week or so. But some other training camp news. We didn't talk about it yesterday, but I believe it was the Colts and Chargers,
Colts and
Ravens.
It was the other
one of the
Hardballs.
hardballs. I know that there was some training camp fights the day before. Yesterday there was more fighting with the Patriots, and if you've seen the video with Vrabel jumping in and getting in the mix,
Vrabel's a dude.
he's a big boy.
Vrabel's a dog, and he's a former player, and he fears no man. That is for dang sure. Let's hear from the quarterback real quick as May broke down Vrabel getting into the fight at practice.
That's what we're trying to build, I think. And it starts with the coach, starts with the head coach, the intensity, bringing it every day, taking no crap, we're out there on the field. But also it comes at a time where with our guys offensively and getting over there and getting some tussles and kind of having some penalties and extra after the whistle can get us in trouble. But for mentality, I like it. I think that's what you want. I mean, I almost got in there, but I think maybe another day, maybe. So we'll see.
What happened? Have any idea what started? It seemed like Travian Henderson might have been in pass protection.
Yeah, I think pass pro. I think it's physical. It's a physical game. It's a man's game, and things happen out there. I'm not sure if anything on this field happened, but I think there's a time where obviously you don't want to come out here and fight and get in trouble, but at the same time you don't want to back down from nobody. So I'm sure coach will give the mind, kind of preach we can't have that, but at the same time, kind of in the back of our minds. That's kind of how we want to play. The intensity and kind of when the whistle's going, play hard. And the whistle stops, get off and get away.
I love that he brings this up because this was going to be my main question to you and to all of our listeners. How do you guys feel when you hear your team got into a fight at training camp, either within each other, the same team, or with the other team that they're practicing with? Obviously, it's been on the rise the last couple of years because when you put two NFL teams together in a training camp, regardless if it's practice or not, things can get heated. Just like he said in the offensive line, defensive line drills, that's usually where it happens. We saw Aaron Donald get into a situation that people were shouting, assault at one point. It is football. You're going to fight. Anybody who's played football, especially if you've gone through two-a-days, there's always a fight. Every single year, somebody fights. And it's not because you hate each other. It's because you're competitive.
Yeah, it's part of the game.
You're fired up.
They're all happy to get into pads and start hitting people. I know this one stemmed from rookie Henderson had a big block on one of the defenders for Washington.
Absolutely. And he probably got embarrassed and said, I'm not going to let a rookie do that to me.
Exactly. And the day before that, it was a special teams play where Harbaugh pretty much mentions it. It happens. People get embarrassed and take it out.
You pull the guy off for the day. He goes home, lets himself cool down, and you go into it. Personally, I got no issue with it. I think this is part of football. As long as no one gets seriously hurt during these scrums, that's all that matters. Only one that was really in any danger of being hurt, I think, was Mike Vrabel, and that's not exactly a slight to Vrabel. It's just more of you're going against two big men with pads on, and you're just in clothes.
We caught a nice one to the cheek, and
yes, he did.
It was all bloodied up for the interview.
And I agree with Drake, dude. That's what you want.
Hell yeah.
I love hearing that. You kidding? When I saw the video of Drake May pushing Raheem Morris down during drills, love that. I love when the coach gets in on the drills. That's how it should be. If you're not willing to step in and show them exactly what you want from them, how are they supposed to show you? So I love that. And honestly, it just shows that you're really fired up for the season. You're ready to get started, which everybody's ready for football season as well. We kick off with some preseason games tonight,
baby.
And I'm telling you right now, a month from now, when we're all getting kick started here after Labor Day and everybody's sitting down on a Sunday, eating your dinner and watching some Sunday night football, America's going to get back to normal.
We'll talk about some preseason tomorrow, as well as we'll kick off our Fantasy Fridays. We'll run down our own top 10 quarterback list. Absolutely. And mix in some sleepers. I know there's some leagues that you have 2-3 quarterbacks. We'll get into that and much more. But after this break, we'll get into some baseball milestones and records, and even a no-hitter that didn't happen.
Almost.
Right here on the Early Bird Special on 12:30 a.m.
101.1 FM. Welcome back. This is the early bird special. And we had a very interesting day in baseball yesterday. Island. I don't think ESPN is covering it enough. When I tell you we had a series end, the Blue Jays scored 45 runs against a very, very bad team, which we'll get to in a second. The Red Sox signing their new rookie stud to an 8-year extension. Ohtani hit his 1,000th hit of his career on a home run and struck out 8 in a loss. We had a Cub throw an immaculate inning, and we had Juan Soto have to beat the biggest. God, I hate Juan Soto. Well, I hate the Mets. I'll just say it. I hate the Mets. The fact that the Mets broke up a no-hitter yesterday against the Guardians with a home run.
I want to know the count. Williams deals. Fastball hit high in the air to deep center. Back goes Martinez onto the track. At the wall, he jumps. He can't get it. It's off the wall, remains in play, or might be a home run. There's no space back there above the orange stripe, so it might have simply hit the black above the stripe, and that's the ruling on the field. A home run for Soto, which ends the no-hit bid with 1 out in the 9th inning.
Catch the ball, kid. That's all you had to do.
They still lost.
No, they still lost 4-1, but we almost had a no-hitter. That would have been really cool. I love seeing the Mets get no-hit. At any point in time, especially since my Phils lost 5-1. But it is what it is. It was a very, very interesting day in baseball. Dodger fans obviously you're in limbo, man. I mean, you lose 5-3 yesterday to the Cardinals as Shohei had probably his best pitching outing I've seen so far, hits his 1,000th hit. It's starting to feel weird. I don't know what's up with this slump from the Dodgers, but I know they'll turn it around. Obviously, we'll get this to work out.
They keep saying.
Well, but it always happens, right? I mean, we are almost 120 games into the year. Some teams are up there in the area. So you have 40 games left. This is crunch time baseball. And for the Dodgers to go and turn it around now would be the most ideal thing in the world for them. I am a firm believer, especially in baseball, if you can turn it around in the last 40 games and you're the hottest team, you have the best chance at winning the World Series. Teams like the Yankees are slipping. The Red Sox still hold a pretty solid lead over them. I think it's half a game, 2.5 games, somewhere in that area, even though the Toronto Blue Jays look like the absolute monsters on the AL side right now because Detroit has slipped as well. There are teams that are benefiting on the NL, like the Milwaukee Brewers, but I still am not a believer in the Brewers. I don't know why. Every single year we see the Brewers be a consistently good regular season team, but for some reason in the playoffs, they can just never put it together. I really don't get it. How are you feeling going into the end of the season, into the playoffs, though, sir? Your Seattle Mariners 2 games behind the Cheaters.
Getting closer.
Who?
I mean, I just keep rooting for the Astros to lose and the Mariners to keep it up. And as long as, teams like the Yankees keep slipping, then there'll be a playoff spot for us. But I'm hoping to take that division. So I'm just rooting that the Mariners can put it together. They're 2 down with 40 games left. I'll take it.
At this point, you're sitting pretty, especially in the wild card race. Big piece of me wants to believe Seattle can pull it out in the West. I really believe that. But with Carlos Correa coming back to the Astros, with the moves that they've made, and although, yes, we can call them the cheaters, I will continue to call them the cheaters until every single piece of that team is gone. Jose, bye. You have to leave too. Even Carlos, now that you're back, you got to leave too. I'm sorry.
It'd be funny to see him just go to the Dodgers.
Oh my God, please.
You know how much Dodger fans would hate that?
No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't.
They would hate it until they're ordering jerseys.
Heck
Bobbleheads.
no. Look, if I know anything about LA fans, they say they hate it until you're part of the team.
Of course.
LeBron James being the most peak of evidence. When growing up a Cavaliers fan, nothing but hate. Nothing but hate. You think you're better than Michael? You think he's better than Kobe? Blah, blah, blah. Then soon as he becomes a Laker, oh, he's the greatest player to ever play. Are you kidding? It's King James, and he's back. He's here in LA where he should be, where he should have been all along. Really? Really? So if I think it'd be the exact same thing, Jose Altuve puts on a Dodger jersey, they would be ecstatic. They would love to see it. Although he is one of the more hated players in baseball, I will not lie, especially after the whole cheating scandal. So who knows? Maybe I'm wrong, but firm belief right now, nah, I would not doubt it if Dodger fans embrace Jose Altuve at some point if he became a Dodger. But right now, as it sits, you're looking in the AL. Like we said, the Toronto Blue Jays, best team on the AL side at 68-48. They hold a 4-game lead over the Boston Red Sox. The Detroit Tigers holding down the Central, and as we just said, Houston Astros holding down the West. The Phils are holding down the East in the NL, along with the Brewers in the Central, and the Dodgers in the West hold a pretty solid 2-game lead over the Padres right now. And the slipping Giants continue to fall down even further and further as well. Your wild card race, you got the Boston Red Sox and the Seattle Mariners holding the top 2 spots, with the Yankees right there in the 3rd spot, only by a game and a half. On the NL side, you got the Cubs and Padres holding the top 2 spots, with the Mets right there at 3rd, 3 games over the Cincinnati Reds. Do you think anybody kind of slides up and takes one of these spots? I mean, the Yankees are continuously showing me that they may not be a playoff team. So I'm thinking the Guardians or maybe even the Rangers can jump up and take that final spot from them.
I'm leaning on Texas. I think the Rangers could do it, but it's going to be a crazy next month or month and a half. And I know we brought it up, but the Red Sox, signing their 21-year-old outfielder.
Roman stays in Boston. Do you think this is more of a, well, we have the money now that Rafael Devers is gone, so we might as well lock this kid up for the foreseeable future?
I mean, that's been their streak. I mean, that's the 3rd young player that they've signed to a long-term deal.
It really is. And at this point, your team is number 1 in the AL wildcard race by only 2.5 games. Don't get me wrong. You still have a chance to fall. I hope you don't, because I've been honestly pleasantly surprised and happy to see Boston succeed this year. It is a year that I thought they were going to be pretty rough or pretty bad, to be honest with you. And after the Rafael Devers trade, I think a lot of the sports media, including myself, started to doubt them, thinking this is a fire sale year. They were going to trade Duran. They were going to trade a lot of these other guys, bring up the young guns, and hope for next year to be that year where they break into it. They're sitting there pretty well with a really, really good manager and somebody that can lead them into the playoffs and at least make some noise. I don't see them making it all the way to the World Series, but I think they can knock out one of these division leaders if they get the right opportunity.
And I think you just hit it on the dot, where whoever gets hot this last month or so could, string it into the playoffs. That's what we see almost every year.
Oh, yeah. That's just sports,
but
though.
I hate Boston. So
as we've heard from even our own Daily Dave, if you're healthy, you're going to be great. And honestly, if you're hot, you're going to be really, really good going into the playoffs. We just saw it in basketball with the Indiana Pacers. That is the most dangerous thing to me. If you can turn it around in that final leg of the season and go into it, let's say the Dodgers end up winning 30 of these last 40, you'd be pretty freaking happy. I can tell you that right now, even with a banged up pitching core.
When do the Dodger fans start to get worried? Because I know the Dodger fans I talked to, they've all been kind of nervous really since the All-Star break.
As you should be, because don't get me wrong, we started this season in baseball talking Dodgers may not lose a game. And then now you're sitting here looking at, you're still having a solid season. I feel like you can reach 100 wins, but you may stall out in the 90s. So if at any point in time they stall out and you only get an area of maybe 20 wins in the last 40, I would worry hitting the playoffs. But again, it's the Dodgers. You guys, the bats turn hot at the right time. Anytime you have Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, and Shohei Ohtani, you're going to score runs. So at this point, it's all about just cleaning up the bullpen,
for
the
sure.
majority of it. As I've said forever, and I'm going to die on this dang train. Shohei could be the greatest closer in Dodger history if you did it, but you're not going to do it. So it's not a big deal, right? It's not, I'm just a loon here in Bakersfield who keeps harping up this tree. And now Dodger fans are jumping on the bandwagon, but no one wants to listen to me. I've been saying it for months. Just make him the closer. It works, I promise. And you have Roki coming back at some point too. I heard that he had a very positive injury rehab the other day. So potentially you get another one of your arms back. You could fill that void pretty well, and you finally find somebody that could shut the door for you and win you a championship that way. Because now you're going against teams like Philly who have Johan Duran, who throws 103. Did I tell you the stats on that the other day? And just for, I know people don't care. I'm a Phillies fan, so I'm going to embellish. I'm going to talk about your Dodgers for the last 15 minutes. Give me 1 minute. Duran came out. His entrance is 140 seconds from him getting to the bullpen to the mound and getting ready to start. The inning lasted a minute and a half. For those of you who don't do math, that's smaller. The inning was 90 seconds. It took him 140 to get to the mound, and he locked him up in 90. I am so ecstatic with this trade. I'm sorry to see Mick Abel go, but oh my God, finally we have a closer. We have a best closer in baseball, and I'm so happy. Yeah, Philly's looking good. Let's take a break real quick, pay some bills. On the other side, we got plenty more to talk about. And also text in 661-842-2000. Don't forget, you have a chance to win some tickets to Bakersfield Brunch Fest if you are in the area October 11th. It's not something you're going to want to miss. And if you have a significant other, for you, those of you men who are listening to me right now, this is brownie points, baby. This is the perfect opportunity to take her somewhere nice where she's going to enjoy it. You guys can both get a good buzz, get an Uber ride home, and enjoy your weekend. I promise you, you will not be sorry for signing up for this. So text in 661-842-2000. What's your favorite 90s movie, 90s TV show, whatever your thoughts are, we'll take it and we'll figure out who's the winner here at some point in the 8 o'clock hour. This is the Early Bird Special right here on 101.1 FM, 1230 AM, ESPN Bakersfield. Welcome back. I don't know why every time I hear CCR, it just reminds me either of a war movie or Sandlot.
War movie for sure.
Yeah, like anytime you watch a good war movie, if it doesn't have Credence in it, it's not a good war movie. I'm sorry.
Well, going back to some of this baseball stuff, the Toronto Blue Jays wrapped up an absolute dominant three-game sweep over the Rockies. 63 hits in 3 games, the most by any MLB team in a 3-game set since 1900.
Last 2 years in baseball have been very, very entertaining for one reason for me. Well, for multiple reasons. One main reason. We've seen some historically good and historically bad play.
45 runs scored in 3 games.
They lost the series closing game 20-1. They lost the series opening game 15-1. Second game was 10-4. And I know what some of you are thinking. Oh, well, it's okay. They're in Toronto. They beat them up, right? No, they're in Colorado. So Colorado Rocky fans, who are still some of the most devout baseball fans I have ever seen, because no matter how bad this team has been, they stack the place out. If there is one thing Colorado loves, it's to go watch some baseball, apparently. And who cares? You're watching home runs. It's the biggest just beat down in baseball since 1900. No, I am not misspeaking. This was literally 125 years ago. That's the worst beat down I've ever seen. Wow. And don't get me wrong, I know the Blue Jays are a great team. Okay, Vladdy is a stud. Santander is equally as good of a batter. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility that the Blue Jays have figured it out and are finally going to make that push in the playoffs that we've all kind of been waiting for them to make since they got the young, lack of a better word, Nepo babies on the team. Because ever since they got Bo Bichette, Vladdy Guerrero, oh Lord, they just traded him away to the Dodgers not too long ago, and I can't remember his name right now. Regardless, this is the best we have seen the Blue Jays play in quite some time, but 63 hits and 45 runs.
Yeah, 45-6 in 3 games.
I hope for the Rockies' sake that is the last they have to deal with that. And this is the worst loss in the series they will have to deal with for a considerable amount of time. That's the only thing that I kind of hope for losing teams is that get all of this out.
Yeah, get it out.
So when the positive comes in, you can really enjoy it. Because that's really what's coming for the Colorado Rockies, I hope. But again, I'm one of those people that sits there and says, I don't understand how you can't hit in Colorado. You're in Colorado.
That's what they always say.
Higher altitude. It should be. I mean, we've seen Trevor Story hit 30 home runs in Colorado when he played there at first. And now he's playing for Boston, and the kid can barely hit 15. So, come on. You can't sit there and tell me it's
helping
not
the other
possible.
teams.
Maybe. But again, it's benefit for both people. But I would say if you're at home in Colorado, you should be slugging some home runs. The other story we got to get to before we get to a break when it comes to baseball is this immaculate inning that happened for the Cubs yesterday with Andrew Kittredge, because I feel bad for this dude. The day before, he's getting booed because of how bad of the performance he had. It was a really, really bad one against the Reds. The next day, he comes out and throws not just an immaculate inning. And for people who don't know what that is, that's 9 pitches, 3 Ks. No ball was put in play, no errors or miscues. It's 100% just straight baseball. All 9 pitches are strikes, and you go straight out. And this is the first one the Cubs have been able to get since 2022. And it's actually really interesting to me because they did it with 2 pitches. Sinker and a slider. It was the same sequence of pitches for all 3 batters. Austin Hayes, Gavin Lux, and Tyler Stevenson all got the same thing. Sinker, sinker, slider. Sinker, sinker, slider. And it worked. That is something in baseball that you can't plan for, but it's a really cool thing to see. And honestly, I love seeing all those small comeback stories. But a 35-year-old relief pitcher who comes back from getting booed in Chicago just the night before, The next day bounces back and says, you guys really want to hate me now? Remember this. Remember this next time you're booing me, because this is an immaculate inning, and there aren't a lot of pitchers that could say they've ever gotten an immaculate inning. So good on Andrew. I commend him. What do you think?
It's insane. It sounds like a video game.
It really does. But again, that's why I love baseball. It's why I love the saying, how can you not be romantic about baseball? There's always something that could happen.
First is going to happen this weekend in baseball, as the first female umpire will be taking place this weekend.
How long do you think until somebody gets up in arms about this? If we can't take
Yesterday.
robotic umpires, yeah, really.
Well, she's been working in the league for years.
Good for
She's
her.
a former college softball star.
Good for her.
And she'll make history this weekend as the first woman to umpire a Major League Baseball regular season game.
Do we have a name?
She's working the Marlins Braves series. Her name is Jen Powell.
Well, congratulations, Jen. I am happy to see it. I'm very, very happy to see it. Congratulations. First for everything. And honestly, I see no problem with it at all. I know there's some people that are going to be up in arms. You already hate robotic umpires too.
Well,
get behind it,
get
man.
in line.
It's changing.
2025, baby.
Absolutely. Let's take a break real quick, pay some bills. We got some more to talk about on the other side, including some football news. This is the Early Bird Special right here on 101.1 FM, 1230 AM, ESPN Bakersfield. Welcome back. This is the Early Bird Special Hour 2. We are awaiting our friend Daniel Betts to get to the studio here. You'll be here momentarily. Talk about everything going on at the Well. And don't forget, text in 661-842-2000 and let us know what your favorite 90s movie is. You may get hooked up with a pair of tickets to Brunch Fest going on October 11th at the Kern County Fairgrounds. Trust me, it's one of those situations. If you've been to Mac and Cheese Fest, it's the exact same thing, but with brunch food, and it's so much better.
The
Personally,
weather's perfect.
I get people's love for macaroni and cheese. I do. I really get it, especially when you mix it up. We get the fantastic different kinds at these events. You get the cheeseburger mac and cheese, or you get the chili verde mac and cheese, or whatever your fancy is.
I wonder if he took California Avenue. He said he's 2 minutes away, bad traffic.
Oh, he's on California Avenue. Yeah, I know. I know it's a little late, but if you didn't hear us yesterday and the day before, and probably until Halloween, because that's how long this is going to take. But if you live in Bakersfield, stay off of California Avenue unless you absolutely have to. And this is not me being a stickler. This is not me being a grouch telling you stay off my street. No, I may live on it, and that's why I'm telling you, massive construction. They're digging it all up. And I mean digging it all up. They're not just re-putting down pavement. They are digging up the street. It's down to one lane. If you would like to get to work on time, suggest you take a different route.
Well, if you're going south on California, I will just say if you turn into the office building and you could take a couple back turns, you could end up on Mohawk without any traffic.
Absolutely.
But again, we have some breaking news from training camp. Texans safety CJ Gardner-Johnson was just carted off the field after suffering a low leg knee injury at practice. The news says the scene was emotional and he couldn't put weight on his leg, and apparently visible upset at teammates and grabbing his knee.
Cue another one bites the dust.
Pretty much.
God, man, like what? It has to be what happens during the off season. Why these end up happening more and more during the season. I'm not 100% sure on the statistics of this or what exactly the lifestyle changes are. I would assume with all the science and the stuff that we know now today, it would be easier to handle these kinds of injuries, or at least maintain your body. But we have seen it over and over in football, especially this training camp, where a lot of DBs specifically are dropping because of lower leg injuries. I hope it's nothing super serious. I assume it will be something of the ACL injury area. This has got to stop, man. Like, or I can't say it stopped, but you know what I mean. This entire situation when it comes to these lower leg injuries, I feel much like the concussion problem. Basketball is already looking into it, so maybe the NFL can piggyback off the back of this, but maybe we could find some sort of solution to help these guys, and maybe even a knee brace or something that could fix it and not have these injuries pop up as often.
Bring in the robots.
Well, the robotic umpires, but everybody's so
robotic
mad
players.
about that. We are joined by the owner of the Well Comedy Club. Sir, how are you? I'm assuming you got caught up in all of this madness on California Avenue.
I did. I tuned in just in time for you to hear you talking about me
To
not
turn
going down. I was like,
California.
sure, tell God and country about California, but don't shoot me a text message.
That's
at
on him. You've been
midnight
talking to
last night.
him the last
It is.
couple days.
Yeah.
He should have warned you. I don't know what to tell
Well,
you.
when I drive, there's nobody on the road, so I don't
I
even
mean,
think
that's
about
fair.
it.
It's 4 o'clock in the morning
Not
when you
everyone
get
wakes up at 1 o'clock in the morning to have coffee and
No
start
coffee.
their silly day. You dragged a comedian out of bed at this unholy, ungodly hour, and then you put me in road. I did illegal things to get here just now.
Well, I like the white Well shirts.
Yes.
You like that one?
Fancy.
Yeah. How's
Looks clean.
how's life treating you?
Life's treating me okay. I'm a little tired.
Your
Again,
hand,
at the
clearly.
your
moment.
hand seems okay.
It's getting better. You see that? Yeah, I had for the listeners, I dropped something and I cut my hand and it severed the tendon. I should send you, by the way, the surgeon took pictures and videos during the surgery.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
So
I
it's
saw
like
the
pictures
video.
of like splayed open. It's awesome.
Yeah, when I had my when they put the plates in my head, they gave me a flash
What
drive.
a one upper.
Right.
Well, you know what I
they-
mean?
They gave me
And
the
it just-
flash drive, and I was like, "What the hell is this flash drive?" And they gave me a to-go bag with my former skull that was in the freezer.
Shut
I swear.
your.
Do you still have
mouth.
it?
I don't think so.
Why?
I put it in the freezer for a while, and then my wife was like, "Get that out
Yeah,
of
dude,
away
you can't
from our food."
thaw that out when guests are coming
You
over. Like,
never
I thought it
know.
was a pork chop.
But no, it's insane how they do these. It's almost like they have a GoPro on their head while they're doing it. But it's insane. I watched that video. You're like, you want to see something nasty? Of course.
What a
Who doesn't?
one-upper. You know what I mean?
What
I
of
got
course.
I got a minor.
He said, "You
tendon
scratched
repair.
your hand. I had a whole plate put in my
Yeah, look at
head.
this chunk of my skull. He's
I
got it
can't
in
walk
an-
through TSA without getting pulled over."
He's got it in a little Yeti cooler beside him right now.
You want to see it?
So everybody visit their social media page today if you want to see pictures of my tendon and
Do it.
Steven's
Absolutely.
Do it.
pork
We'll
chop
put
skull.
side by sides and see
That-
who's got the
That
worst.
video, I mean, the inside of the hand is already nasty,
Mhm.
Yeah,
especially when you watch it on video. But when you see like the bone and the tendons, it's insane.
it's pretty cool.
But you're feeling good now?
It's getting there, man. I can't make a fist yet, so nobody try to fight me. I'm not ready, but
Oh, you can slap box still.
yeah, true. I could do that. I could slap you. I could.
Open palm. You
Yeah.
know, you don't get arrested that way.
Is that? I don't think that's the to you listeners at home. That is not sound legal advice. Just so you know.
I am not a lawyer. Do not
Yes.
take me as legal advice whatsoever. I host a sports show. It's much different.
Well, we talked to Anthony a week or two ago. He's still doing the open mics over at Ava's. So what is it? What's going on? I'm in the middle of kind of the construction and moving offices, which is a pain in the butt.
It's awful.
It is. I hate moving in general, but
Yep.
when you start seeing things you put in one of the drawers in your office that I forgot about, there was some food I probably should have thrown out a year ago,
Ew.
but we're starting to pack things up, and
Chunk of skull.
Yeah.
as Moneywise is about to move downtown into the Woolworth building, and like we've been saying for months, the Well Comedy Club is no longer on White Lane.
Nope.
As they are moving on up
18th
downtown.
Street, baby.
The sign is up.
And I think I know when we're going to open now. I think it's going to be sometime in October of 2036,
Ah.
which is
And you can
Right
take
around
the
the
high
corner.
speed. You can take the high speed from LA and watch all the shows. But no, how's the whole thing?
I think the high speed rail has less permitting issues than we do right now.
I believe it.
It's funny. Behind our building, we share an alley with the building department.
Mhm.
So any hopes of being sneaky about getting some work done without a permit went out the window about day one when a code enforcement officer came by. And in our defense, we had 3 different contractors say we didn't need a permit for this, but we had somebody pulling out some drywall, just a maintenance guy. And I think the rough kind of threshold is over 100 square feet of drywall is where they make you permit, right? We were pulling out a few feet of drywall and just replacing it like for like. And the code enforcement officer walked up to our guy and I quote, "Don't worry, you're not going to have to beep this. I'll censor myself. What the F are you doing?" And he was like, "What? Like, I'm just putting some drywall on my chair. Like, what's the big deal?" And so anyway, they've been they were down our throats a little bit, but we're working with them and they're actually, I think that they want us to get open and succeed there as well. And we want to do things the right way. So what I can say is we're getting pretty close to finishing the physical structural things. And we've got soda lines and beer lines coming in and we're debating whether or not we're going to cut and or move the stage. And we're chopping some of the bar and we're building up the green room. Buildings need a ton of work, and you're not unfamiliar with obviously what's going on over at the Woolworths building. So very similar, but just to a smaller financial scale, I suppose. And it's going to come down really to permitting. So I believe we're initially targeting August 1st. Obviously, that's gone by the wayside. I'm looking at about October 1st at this point.
Right on.
Well, still right around the corner.
Yeah, I mean it's coming quick. I can't believe we're already in August, to tell you the truth.
Right.
But with everything going on, I mean, if you haven't heard Dan the last time he was on, the old White Lane location, what can they expect from this location compared to what they were seeing on the old Well building?
Yeah, everything we're doing here is kind of bigger. We'll have lunch over at the new building. We'll have happy hour over at the new building. We'll have after hours over here. We have 3 rooms, so to speak, over there. We've got an A room, the main room, and then we've got a B room, and they're divided, and it can be opened or closed. So you can have 2 separate events, 2 separate rooms, or open up the space for a sold out show. And then we'll have a rear courtyard, enclosed courtyard. Think of almost like Luigi's or Zama type of a, maybe not quite as fancy or whatever, but we'll have an outdoor stage out there, outdoor patio furniture,
right on. I didn't know that
sales,
one.
heaters, misters, etc. So we'll do brunch things out there at some point. We'll do build your own omelet stations and build your own Bloody Marys and bottomless mimosas. And we'll do more after hours things at the new location as well. So you've kind of got this A room, B room, C room. And the goal is just keep it jam-packed all the time, of course. You know what I mean? So,
well, I wouldn't have you on if I didn't believe. I mean, this is the only full-time comedy club, and it looks like it's going to be on steroids. I mean, with 3 different sections, and to be able to enable a big room for a bigger show is going to be dope, and we definitely miss it. I mean, I'll tell you now, I know there's been a lot of comedy shows. We had Leanne Morgan on, was it last week?
oh yeah,
And I mean, there's some cool comedy shows. We previewed the Mike Epps show coming into town that was announced. So I mean, there's still some, you know, good comedians coming to town, but there's nothing like what you see at the Well Comedy Club. So I'm pumped. I'm excited, and it looks like we'll be opening around the same time. So we can cross promote and get into each other's buildings.
Would love to. I'm looking forward to coming down there and getting a burger over at your spot. I mean, I've seen, you know, I got a tour of the building a while ago from our mutual friend and got to see the event space downstairs. It's so killer. It's going to be.
Well, if you haven't been able to have to move into an older building like you are, I mean, if you don't know, the Well is going to be at the old Fish Lips Bar and Grill. That was it's been a few years. I'm just aging myself, but if you with the Woolworth building, not only the permits, but we're dealing with an old school elevator, and it always reminds me of like the Wayne's World movies where they have to clamp it and close it. And so I didn't know until, of course, you get into the permits and the changes you have to make into these older buildings, but there's only 2 elevator repair companies in the US.
Yeah.
So we've been on a waiting list for over 2 years to just get this fixed. Luckily, the city and the historic foundation is going to allow us to open the diner. We're looking at around Labor Day, the week after Labor Day. So you'll be able to get your burgers and milkshakes, but money-wise, we'll be on the 2nd floor. And then there's some news coming out with the basement where we'll do our show. The Money Wise guys will do their podcast and radio show. And then sooner or later, we'll be able to open it to the public. And it looks like mid-October. So
awesome. Super
exciting. A lot of moving things.
I think Bakersfield's, you know, poised for kind of another pop off for live entertainment again, which is, I mean, I hope the economy withstands. I'm a little bit kind of anxious about that, I suppose. Like if we had a time machine and we could just move to 18th Street, you know, 6 months ago and just open, I think we'd be absolutely killing it, you know, but I'm a little anxious about what, you know, it looks like things are slowing down a little bit. So I hope that we're not those people that opened up something big, like right at like the worst possible time, you know.
You got the summer coming to an end. All these college kids are coming back and they're going to be looking for something to do too. And trust me, I don't think that's going to be the case. Downtown Bakersfield has its moments of being really popular and then just kind of fizzling out for a little bit, and then it comes right back up. So I see you guys being a part of that.
Well, another good thing is that we ran into Richard Chapman over from KEDC. He's a big part of that economic development here in Kern County. And it looks like the Hard Rock will be opening it towards the end of the year. So they're hoping to bring in more traffic from those venues and the casino, and hopefully it all works out. Obviously, with money being tight, it's probably a hard time to talk about it right now because school shopping just killed me.
Yep.
But I mean, we're all excited on the comedy side. Obviously, with you dealing with your hand injury and relocating and dealing with all the permits, have you had any chance to get on stage lately?
My comedy has slowed down so dramatically. Right when we decided to close down the club and move to the new location, I had 2 weekends booked in Canada. I was doing Edmonton and Calgary. I had to pull out of those. I was supposed to do the Sacramento Sacktown Get Down Comedy Festival this week. Supposed to go up, we'll say Wednesday. I was supposed to go up today through Sunday. I had to pull out of that. Supposed to do, Atlanta. I mean, all over the place. Tennessee, Boston, New York, Chicago. So I totally pulled out of all these things and went, you know what? The best thing I could do for comedy in the Central Valley is just get the club open. And then I'll flood the stage till people are sick and tired of hearing me. But I got to get these comics back on stage for the open mics, and we got to kind of keep our name out there and keep it fresh. And it's not lost. I mean, there's so many people that have come to us over the years and said, like, man, like, it's really humbling for somebody to come to you and literally say, this place saved my life. I've heard that from comics. I've heard that from audience members. And you go, man, we're just telling wiener jokes over here and serving up some. Can you say that? Can you say
hot dogs? Yeah,
we're just serving up hot dogs.
We're serving up hot dogs.
Just serving up hot dogs and those dogs with the short legs and the long torsos.
Yeah, exactly.
We just have a bunch of those and some good fish and chips and some good drinks, you know. But it's really weird to hear people say that. So it's like, we got to get open, man. It's not just trying to bring some cheddar home. We gotta get this thing going.
And obviously, with all the hard work you guys are doing right now to open it, the work really happens when you open.
Yeah.
And I probably won't see you until I show up at the damn club. Just
That's
to
literally
see
how people like let's go hang out with Dan. I guess we'll have to just go to work and then just crashes off as I keep a bottle of whiskey in the office. I'm like, come on in, we'll drink together.
Well, the positive is you have 3 separate rooms for you to check out anyway, so there's plenty to do over there.
Yeah, we're gonna have a podcasting studio there too.
Nice.
We got some cool stuff going on. And I think, by the way, maybe I could share some breaking news with you guys. You probably know this already. Our city council member Andre Gonzalez, who this is his ward down on 18th Street,
right,
is going to run for state assembly.
Right.
And since I'm having all these permitting issues, I figure I'll just run for his vacated seat.
There you go.
You know, and just solve all my problems. So
I'll
you
vote
guys
for
are
Dan Betts.
You guys are,
there you go.
I'd do it.
Huh?
I'll vote for Dan Betts.
A vote for Dan Betts is a vote for freedom, folks.
Absolutely.
I just came up with that right now.
Freedom
But that's pretty good.
permits.
That's pretty good. I like that.
Make Bakersfield great again.
Because you have all this extra time. Why not?
Why not? City council member Daniel Betts.
Well,
you
you
can go to Daniel Betts 2025 Super PAC.
You talk to Andre Gonzalez. He's the busiest man on the planet. So he can do it. You can do it.
If he could do it, I could do it. That's what I say.
That's what the saying should be.
If he could do it, I can do it.
Vote for
That's pretty
Betts.
good.
Vote for
Vote for Betts. If he could do it,
yes,
any idiot can.
Well, we
got
always,
2 votes right here.
Exactly.
So you're good.
I think you just won. I mean, without the break, have you got? I mean, obviously, you missed the stage. I know how much you like to spill it out all over the stage, but I mean,
it's my cathartic release.
of course.
It's like my therapy. Like not being able to get on stage lately, I've literally just had to beat my wife so much more because
That you hurt your hand?
And now we're back to the open palm. Full circle.
which is not illegal apparently.
Not if she swings first.
Just kidding. Anybody that knows
not
me
funny, but
knows that she could take me. That's why this is a joke. This is
But no,
there's a reason his hand looks like this. And it's not because
Yeah.
something fell on it.
this is the last time I'll be invited back here.
and we're done.
And this is the last time you guys are doing this show at all.
Oh,
we
well.
just got cut, but at least I know a new coming assemblyman. I mean,
there
that
you
might
go.
help. But
Yeah.
we always ask the comedians, and it's been a while since we've been in. But what was the drive to get into comedy? What was the comedians that you watched growing up, and give you the chance to just, you know what, I'm gonna do it.
My story about starting comedy, like my origins story. I'm gonna give you the Snyder cut here too. This is me. You guys are not gonna go to break anytime
So
soon.
3
I'm telling you
hours.
the
I was gonna
long.
say.
Well, we got 9
long
minutes,
here.
so
9 minutes. Long story short, I had been thinking about it for a while, and I had started, like, I think a lot of comics do this. I started kind of putting notes in my phone, or some folks start writing stuff down and just sort of, I guess, thinking through, like, do I have anything? Could I make any material out of this? And I had a friend that owned a bar in Taft, and owns a restaurant there too. So I'd seen him a couple of weeks prior, and I was telling him, I was kind of thinking about it. He's like, you should, man. You're so funny. Like you'd be great at it. And what are you waiting for? And I just didn't know how to take the leap. I didn't know that Bakersfield had open mics. The scene was not the same, a decade ago as it is now. I mean, now you can Google and a comedy club's going to come up, to go there. But back in the day, this is like, how do you enter this thing? So I was telling him about it, and then he calls me and I miss it, and he left me a voicemail one day, and he was like, I go to check it, and he was like, hey man, we got a comedy show at the bar tonight. show starts at 7:00. You're doing 5 minutes up top. See you soon. And I was like, what the? I like called. I was like, what are you out of your mind? Like, you can't leave me. I'm not coming. Like, you can't do that to me. I go, I don't have any material. And he goes, yeah, you showed me this stuff in your phone. I was like, those are like thoughts that I thought would maybe be funny. Like, I didn't even understand. Those are premises. They're not bits. I don't have an act. I don't have a set. And he's like, well, you'll be here or you won't. And I was like, all right, well, challenge accepted. So I went, I did 5 minutes. It went actually okay. You always hear these comics talk about like the first time they did comedy and how bad they sucked. And I was like, yeah, but you guys suck. Like, I am.
There's a reason he was on Beast Games.
Yeah, exactly. Right. IP excellence.
Speaking of which, season 2?
Season 2, I will not be on it.
Darn.
I don't think that they, the casting folks initially engaged some of us. I think if you saw it, my goofy dance, I think stood out a little bit.
Yes, it did.
And I think that they ultimately decided not to have any repeats from season 1, or at least not that I'm aware of. I know the guy that won season 1. And I wonder if like he'll make an appearance in any way, shape, or form. Obviously, Mr. Beast does a bunch of that stuff a lot.
Yeah.
They did just send me something else for some other videos he's going to do. So I might apply for that. But
Nice.
I did catch one of his interviews talking about your dancing.
it's hilarious.
It
right?
was hilarious. Yes.
Yeah. He has said that it's like the number one thing that people have talked about, which is hilarious because I got about a total of 6 social media followers as a result. But his fiance started following me on social media, and she had like 138,000 followers. She's got like 600 something now because they were dating at the time they got engaged. But my wife was like, "Why is Mr. Beast's girlfriend following you?" I'm like, "Yeah, maybe she wants to slum it for a while." You know what I mean? Maybe she's like, "This billionaire life is not for me. I'd like to, I like Chili's a little bit more."
A little bit more than that.
Caviar.
Yeah, I read a story. He was he was playing the I'm not that rich. A lot of my money is in tied up into other things, where he had to ask his parents to pay for the wedding. And then a week later, he had rented out Disneyland for the whole day. And I was like, yeah, okay.
What a freaking phony, man.
Yeah.
But no, he seems like a cool kid. I mean, I know my son has been a huge fan of Mr. Beast. But going back to even with the beginning, we've talked to comedians that you've sent over, and some that talk about like they sucked for the first month or so, but they shook it off and finally realized how to read the room. And then Anthony was talking about, well, one of two. One was a young lady, a local girl that killed it the first 2 or 3 times and thought she was untouchable. And then she finally hit that stage the 3rd or 4th time and crickets.
Yeah, that new comic energy. You know what I mean?
And she didn't know how to react with it.
And Anthony's got to be at ballpark. He's got to be at about the 5-year mark or so, and he still sucks. So
yeah, and he talked about the first 2 years he sat and watched. So he said,
yeah,
I killed the first 2 years of my life of comedy because I was just watching. He said I should have just
on the
in.
sidelines. Yeah, we did a podcast a while back, and I didn't know this, but he told me that I was a little bit instrumental in some. I can't remember his story. There was something about I told him just go up, he's going to be fine, or something like that, or he got off stage the first time. I was like, hey man, I think you got something, keep coming back. It was cool to know that. Like, I didn't remember this, but it was indelible to him, which is kind of cool
with his growth. Yeah.
So again, back to it really quick. The friend told me, like, come do it. I did it. The first time I was ever on stage was a show. I met our friend, him, Andrew Boydson, was the promoter for that show. And I think a little bit salty that, like, hey man, I didn't book this fool. Like, the venue owner. So like you weaseled your way into the show. And then just meeting him. And then he told me, like, there's an open mic over on Union Avenue. And I was like, cool. I was going to be there anyway. You know what I mean? But just cruising the strip. But so he told me
about the Rocket Shop.
Yeah, told him about Rocket Shop. And so that was like really my segue into it. Was Andrew kind of showed me the ropes a little bit. And then now we're kind of full circle where now we've got the club. He's a past comic at the club, and I get to put him on shows when there's no one else available.
Well, Anthony was also talking about the open mics. Like, I enjoy the open mics personally, just because I always leave with knowing, okay, well, there's 2 or 3 comics that I didn't know about. It was the same way, I think I won some tickets to see the Rocket Shop Cafe show or something. And that's the first time I saw you live. The first time I saw Boydston live. And Burdick, small town, he's known Burdick for even longer. So it's just that small world.
Boydson has?
Yeah. We met, me and Boydston met at a bar, though. So it's a different situation.
Shocker.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where anybody who's ever met Boydson.
But no,
actually, it's a funny story too, because he just walked up. He wasn't with friends or anything. I was with a group of my friends. He just walked up, was around the same age as us. Hey, what's up, guys? And just started having a beer with us.
That's the most Boydson thing ever. And started trying out material on you.
A little bit, yeah. And he even bought us a beer. And I was like, you know what? This dude's cool.
He bought you a beer?
He bought me a beer, yeah.
I've known this dude a decade. He's never bought me.
2 weeks later,
let me had a sip of his.
They were playing D&D the next day. But no, the other one was Anthony was saying with the open mics, like you got to test it out. And he said the last one, every once in a while, you'll get one that the guy was a first timer and he had like a timer, 3 or 4 minutes, whatever. And he went 9 minutes or something and he couldn't get him off the stage. And he said it was the worst comic he'd ever seen. So, I mean, it's the difference. You got to get your feet wet. But I mean, going out to these open mics, which are every Thursday, I believe tonight, Anthony will be hosting the open mic over at Ava's. Tomorrow.
Today's Wednesday, right?
No, today's Thursday.
Today's Thursday?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be there.
In your world, it is probably still Wednesday.
He's still waking up, so
we'll be there. Dang it. I meant to bring jeans. I'm wearing shorts today. I never go on stage in shorts.
Did you at least brush your teeth this time?
Yeah. Oh, dude, you don't need to go there. Yeah, you don't need to go there. Did you wash your butt crack this time?
Course,
So you have to air people's stuff out like that?
I mean, between you not brushing your teeth and Anthony with his feet jokes, I
did come in one day and tell you guys legit that I was like, I rolled out of bed and hauled over here. And I was going to go home and go back to bed. But today I got to go to physical therapy for the hand. I got to see the surgeon. I got to meet people over at the club for fire suppression for the kitchen and whatnot.
No,
what a nightmare. No, I mean, we had
I'm just saying you're getting steps done to get the place open. I think that's nice.
We had a company that was going to do the fire suppression system because we changed some of the kitchen equipment or whatever. So you have to update all the sprayers and whatnot. And you know, we got to go through the permitting process, which can take forever. That's what you're afraid of, the delay. The work itself can be done in a day. And these fools dragged their feet for like a month. Like, yeah, we're working on the permitting. Yeah, it's it. And then finally just like ghosted us. And so today I'm starting over with another company, and that's the kind of stuff. It's like, you might have cost me a month to get open. So I got to call Andre now and be like, hey, buddy, remember that old fashioned I bought you at the Gentleman? That wasn't for nothing, buckaroo. If you want my vote for state assembly, you gotta get this permit through. You know what I mean? I'm gonna release the photos. You better release the files.
But before we wrap it up, we are doing a thing where listeners, if you want to win a pair of tickets to Bakersfield Brunch Fest, we asked them to text in their favorite 90s movie. When you think of 90s movies, which one pops out at you?
Point Break.
Point Break.
All day.
It's a good choice.
All day. Favorite movie of all time.
Really?
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
It's because Keanu Reeves just plays a very monotone
Johnny Utah. Johnny Utah, number 9.
That's one of my stepdad's favorite movies to make fun of, just because of the scenes. Like, you want to pay me to surf? I'm just like,
Keanu's just a horrible actor.
I love Keanu.
Hey, he's a horrible actor.
Hey,
what?
You and his stepdad are now on my list.
That's what do you think, man? John Wick's gonna be coming for you.
I love the John Wick movies, but you know why he doesn't talk very much? Because he's a horrible actor.
I just said my favorite movie of all time, and then you poo-pooed on it.
Hey, my favorite White Men Can't Jump. I mean, there's not a lot of great acting.
Another great one.
I know that movie from word to word. Billy. Yeah, I know them all. So
I got that's with Wesley Snipes
and Woody Harrelson.
I that was another one of my favorites. I know most of the lines from that one too. You want to try me on one? Watch this. Oh man, shut your anorexic, malnutrition, tapeworm having overdose, Dick Gregory, Bahamian diet drinking. Leave me alone.
That's one of my favorite actors in there too.
Huh? Pretty good.
That was a great movie.
I just pulled. I can't remember my kids' birthdays.
But we can remember a line.
Oh, Billy, you so stupid.
Letters that start or foods that start with the letter
What is
Q.
a quince? What is a quiche?
Oh my gosh. Well, follow the Well Comedy Club for all the updates. Go to thewellcomedyclub.com. We'll talk to you before October. Hopefully.
Course. I'll keep coming back. I'll keep getting out of bed.
Just don't hurt yourself anymore.
You guys need to have like a cot here, and I'll come out the night before and just spend the night and then wake up.
You can sleep in the green room.
Yeah.
Deal?
There's a couch.
We'll let you sleep on the couch.
I think there's some leftover pizza in there still.
People have slept in the green room at the club.
Well, there you go. See, you can sleep over the night before, and that way you'll be right here ready for us.
Yeah, some pizza in the fridge in there next to
Uh-huh.
a chunk of your skull.
And you won't have to.
Yes.
I still can't believe you didn't keep that.
Nah, I tried.
That's a piece of you.
I tried.
Couldn't you have like dried it out and just had just like the bone part?
Yeah,
Dr.
like make it
Dad
a
said
trophy.
Put it in the freezer.
Scrape
so
the meat off of it.
I was surprised. I mean,
Was there any
how-
brain matter still on there?
I don't think so.
I don't think there was any brain matter in there.
Yeah, there you go. Ba, ba, ba. Well, that is Dan Betts from the Well Comedy Club. The new club is opening in October as of right now. Hopefully, we'll get some updates before then. But until then, text in your favorite 90s movie. Point Break is off the list.
Hurtful.
Just
hurtful.
send something else. We'll get a winner for our Brunch Fest tickets. Till then, we'll be back right here on ESPN Bakersfield, 12:30 a.m.
101.1 FM. welcome back. This is Early Bird Special. Big thanks to our guy Daniel Betts for joining us. Very excited for the Well to rejoin downtown. I desperately think downtown needs that. We talk about if you're local, I get that there are people that are listening to us, but for those of you who are in Bakersfield, downtown has a way of pulling people in and making it a fun weekend. But I feel like we need more. It seems to me like Bakersfield is really turning into mostly just bars and breweries. And we need a little bit of a different appeal to go out to. You know what I mean?
The thing is like Dan had mentioned, and I knew comedy just because I've always enjoyed comedy.
Everybody loves comedy.
I grew up watching the Eddie Murphy Raws and Delirious, but once I met Dan and he kind of opened the door of a full-time comedy club, I mean, it seems like obviously it was working, because now everywhere you go, there's comedy club or at least a try of open mics here and there. But
Which
there's
is good.
nothing like a full-time comedy club.
No.
And if you haven't been to the Well, I'm sure what Dan and Lindsay are doing to this new Well Comedy Club, we're going to be in store for some big funny nights, and having almost like the type of structure like the comedy club down in Hollywood, which still is on my bucket list to go down there. But to be able to walk downtown from wherever we're at and see a comedy show and still, support local, I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, 100%. And for those of you who are out there who think, well, I hate stand-up comedy. I've heard some people tell me that before. It's like, I don't like stand-up comedy. You don't like to laugh?
I know people are nervous because they've never been to a
Right.
comedy club like that, or they all think it's the wiener jokes or whatever.
Right.
And they have certain nights that are family friendly. There's certain ones that aren't.
Right. But that's my point, is there's always a comedian for your type of comedy.
Exactly.
Trust me, there is someone out there that does stand up that you will enjoy, but you will not know that or know who those people are unless you actually go. Now, sometimes you're like Sparky just said, it's not for you. You now don't heckle and don't be that guy in the back that's like, oh, you suck. No one needs to hear from you.
Those are kind of funny because the comedians know how to deal with
Oh,
them.
I know,
but they always get seated by me.
Yeah, well,
And
that's
I'm like,
the
dude,
unfortunate
shut
part.
up. I'm
My
trying to
issue
eat
with
my
it
burger.
is it's not necessarily when someone heckles. It's when you heckle, the comedian comes back and the heckler can't take it
Yeah.
and continue to do stupid
Yes.
stuff. And I'm like, dude, shut up.
It's like a little brother that won't shut up.
Yeah, it's like, this show's not about you. I don't know why you're acting out like this. You're just going to get, carted off by security. So I really don't get it. But at the Well Comedy Club, usually you don't have to deal with that. It's a very, very just wholesome area. I've never gone to a show at the Well where there's been like an overbearing heckler. It really hasn't. Like, there's been somebody to speak up, obviously, but that happens at every comedy show, just like you said. There's always somebody that has one too many that wants to go, woo! Or,
That's what happened to
be part of the show.
We went to the Kevin Hart show down at the Fox.
Yeah, and there was the lady that couldn't stop saying his name.
Yeah, and then there was two guys out in the very back that was just screaming and ended up getting dragged out.
Yep.
But you could tell he was double fisting it.
Yeah, and so
I'm like,
that's
this guy, man.
always going to happen. You can't account for people being, degens. That is what it is. But luckily at the Well Comedy Club, I have never had that happen. And although I'm sure there have been instances, I'm not going to sit there and say they're perfect. There's always going to be those situations.
They are perfect.
But at this point, I'm excited to see it. And I'm excited to see what's going on. Plus, with this entire thing of the 3 different areas, that's going to be really cool to see. You're going to be able to have brunch there at some point.
Yeah, and be able to chill afterwards. You're not wheeled out at 9:30, 10 o'clock
Right.
when the show's
You want to
over.
go outside, have a stogie real quick before you leave?
Have a couple drinks afterwards with a
Go
couple
for
buddies,
it.
or meet the comedians. It's always a
If
good
the
time.
comedians want to stick around, I think that'd be a great idea. And honestly, like I said, downtown needs this. We need something different down there besides just another bar. And don't get me wrong, there's a bar, but it's not just a bar.
Yeah.
Like, it's a comedy club. Go in there, have a good time, go have a laugh. And honestly, what's a better date than taking a girl to a drinks? Take her somewhere she can laugh.
not stare at you.
Yeah, I'm telling you, dude, comedy clubs are bangers when it comes to dates. They always are. They hit every single time.
Yeah, it takes out that weird, awkward.
It really does.
conversation.
You learn and you also learn what her humor is.
Exactly.
So you can learn, okay, can I ride with this humor, or is it something that I can, is just not for me, kind of a thing.
Band-aid what your usual humor is.
Great way to go about it, in my opinion. But let's go back to sports. We've talked enough about this comedy club. LeBron is apparently going further than wanting to own a team. He's always talked about owning a minor partnership of whatever team Las Vegas will get in the NBA. But now him and his partners are going as far as to create an entire league that may actually compete against the NBA.
A new $5 billion international basketball league that would rival the NBA. And his proposed world league would be 6 men's and 6 women teams to kick off, competing across 8 global cities, and may offer players equity stakes, which they don't get right now in their contracts with the NBA. And it almost feels like maybe he's just planning for post-retirement, or maybe even playing in it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure he's planning on that and just what he's going to do after his career is over. Personally, I think he got the idea from Ice Cube's Big Three, which is very successful right now.
So do you think that is kind of what it is, just on, supersized?
Yeah. I mean, I could see him maybe going that route and taking something like the Big Three and making it global. But if you're going to do that, I would just partner with Ice Cube and make that global. But
the bigger
again,
3 league,
maybe he's thinking about this more as, we're going to go full 5-on-5 full court and make it just, China has a team in Beijing, America's got a team in Washington, and whoever else wants to get in on this. And like he says, you go to multiple countries. This is more of like a world league, like the NFL tried to do with the European Football League back in the day. It would open up some more doors for players, at least European and otherwise, to get some exposure as well for people who aren't really aware of their game in America. And as we've seen, especially with the French players, there's a lot of really good basketball out there in the world. So this could be a pretty interesting thing if they get this off the ground. It's going to be hard to compete with the NBA, though, because it's already an established league. I realize it'll be easier than taking on someone like the NFL, as the XFL and the UFL and everybody else has tried to do in the last couple of years. But this could theoretically at least benefit basketball in a sense of getting more players, more exposure, and a chance, as Sparky said, at equity, a chance at ownership, being able to be more than just a basketball player to some of these guys. Because I think a lot of the time we don't get to see a lot of these players that slip out of the grasp of the NBA that could have been great players. And then they go on to the G League or the European leagues and you never really hear of them again, right? This could be another step for them to potentially get back into the league or even just make a name for themselves in that league as a whole. And
going into the NBA.
Yeah. And also you young players out there, those young players out there that want to play basketball, but maybe aren't good enough to get onto an NBA team. You still have an opportunity to travel and potentially play in America if you played for America's team. And if he's serious about stretching this out to world-based teams, I would assume you would break it up based on that, but God only knows what the plan is.
Well, this is our final break. If you want to win some Brunch Fest tickets, this is your last chance today to text in your favorite 90s movie. We'll pick our winner right after this break. We are the Early Bird Special.
Welcome back.
So our text this morning. I'll let you pick the movie.
Let's hear 'em.
The Big Lebowski.
Such a good movie. Hold on. Pick the year though, just in case some of these are off.
That's where I was a little nervous because
98. We're good on that one.
okay, Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction is definitely a 90s movie and is a classic.
The next one says Fight Club.
Fight Club is good. Fight Club is also good. God, all these are like 98, 99 movies.
And the last one was Dazed and Confused,
Oh,
which all four are on my list.
no,
So
sorry. Days of Confused wins. That's such a
anyway,
movie. At least for me, it does. I don't know.
I would have
That's
to go with
93 too. That's the year I was born.
I would have to go with
So-
Big Lebowski.
Get a coin somewhere. We gotta do
Well, we
something.
have one more pair tomorrow.
We do. We do have another pair tomorrow. So give me one sec. I do have a coin on my phone here. But let's talk a
A
little
coin on
Giannis.
your phone.
Well, I mean, it's not necessarily a coin, obviously, but there is something called a Cyrus, sir, which gives me access to a coin. Some of us who play card games know how this works. So, heads, Dazed and Confused, tails, Big Lebowski, both fantastic choices. Well done. Actually, all four are fantastic choices. I won't lie to you. And it's heads, Dazed and Confused.
No.
Just so it's proof, right there.
Well,
It's-
I'm the one filling out the winner sheet, so we'll see.
Aw. That's rude. I vote for Dazed and Confused.
But before we get away, I did find from our good friends at the Bleacher Report, and we are working on a interview with Rich Eisen before the move over to September. I got word back yesterday, so we're working on it. But we've been talking to Giannis, and we thought, maybe this trade is not going to happen. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But the updated trade packages and rumored landing spots for Giannis goes like this.
Again, remember when we talked about this a couple weeks ago too. With all of these being said, still don't believe he's leaving.
I thought immediately that he was out in the beginning.
At first, yeah,
In
but
the beginning.
the longer
But
this
then the
goes,
draft went on, and I was like, okay, they're not jumping on it. Maybe the trades aren't valuable enough. Maybe they're just trying to talk him into staying. And knowing Giannis, he's more of a quiet homebody type player. You would think he didn't want to leave, but now he's hinting at things like posting pictures with certain players with certain gear, or posting certain foods in certain cities.
his entire conversation about how he collects Victor Wembanyama merchandise.
Exactly. So I'm like, maybe he's hinting at something. Number 5 is Houston Rockets.
I just don't like that. Is a dream spot, I feel, teaming him up with Kevin Durant down there. But since the Kevin Durant trade, I don't think Houston's planning on making any more moves. I think they figured it, or they feel they figured it out.
Well, they do a ton of young assets and picks. So if they could, they'll try. The other one is going back to number 4 is the Spurs.
I would love for him to play next to Wemby. I honestly,
but how much would that take?
You would probably have to either give them Dylan Harper or Castle,
or both.
Or yeah, possibly both. That's a good point too, and maybe even a draft pick as well. It's really coming down to, can you give them the pieces that are needed for them to start their rebuild on the right foot?
Number 3 would be the Brooklyn Nets, which the package would be Michael Porter Jr. and several first-round picks.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, Brooklyn has been known to make these kind of trades to bolster their roster.
I just never do anything with it.
No, well, it just never ends up working out, really. And it's just, I don't know if Giannis going to Brooklyn is going to be the answer to get them over the hump in the East. I really don't. So it would be interesting. Giving up Michael Porter right when you traded for him too would be kind of odd. So we'll see. I know there's also, I think there's a clause where you can't trade a player before a certain amount of time. No, I think it can happen if they haven't played for you, but it's more of like, I think you have to wait a certain amount of time before a player is traded again. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
Number 2 would be the New York Knicks. And it would take
Bridges.
Cat, Wolf, and multiple first-round picks, at least swapping picks.
Trading Giannis for Karl Anthony Towns, that's interesting, especially after the re-signing and max extension of Mikal Bridges. I wouldn't hate, because I mean, a lot of the criticism of Karl Anthony Towns is the fact that he doesn't really bang around down there like other big men do, and Giannis dominates people down low.
You
So
put Giannis with Brunson in that young core. I mean,
that would be
maybe.
scary. It's a head scratcher, but I'm not sure on that one. And who is number 1B?
Atlanta.
Of course.
And it would take Jalen Johnson, a ton of picks. Really,
Evan Cohen was onto something, dude, when he dropped that on Unsportsmanlike a couple of weeks ago, right before he came onto our show and said the exact same thing. It makes a lot of sense business-wise. You get more than just the draft picks you're trading for, too, which is kind of funny. And you would get your own picks back. It's a high stakes situation, obviously, trading for Giannis regardless, and pairing him up with Trey. There hasn't necessarily been a star player that is meshed well with Trey yet. Not to say that there won't be, but you need to find somebody that can play that position and and just play off of Trey as well.
who came out recently unhappy with no extension.
So is Atlanta really willing to make that move right now and turn everything around while also paying Giannis and trying to figure out a way to pay Trey if you even want him there long term? There's a lot of questions when it comes to the Hawks. So, I mean, although it makes a lot of sense. So at this point, I still say the Spurs are my favorite pick of all of these for him to go to. But I think that's just because I have fallen in love with this entire idea of Victor and Giannis playing on the same team.
That would be dope. But I like the Knicks one. I think that Knicks one would be cool.
Oof. I mean, again, loaded rosters getting Giannis is always interesting. But as I, started this entire conversation, whether he leaves or not, I'm really starting to doubt, because as the longer this takes, the more likely I feel that the Bucks have kind of coerced him, or at least talked to him to figure out what he wants in Milwaukee, what he wants to create in Milwaukee, and what they plan to do with the future. And honestly, I know for a fact that the plan is centered around Giannis. So maybe they've kind of convinced him somehow with the draft or with the signings and stuff like that, the moving on from Damian Lillard and the gaining of assets, that maybe this is the place that Giannis wants to stay for at least another year. It's going to be a real big question mark, though, going into the season. It really, really is. I fall in love with this to the Spurs situation, though. The only one out of those 5 that I can't see it happening at all is Houston.
I say Brooklyn. I don't see Brooklyn or even him wanting to be there.
Yeah, I mean, Brooklyn would give up a lot, and I have to agree with you. That's the big part right there, is would he stay long term? Don't think that Brooklyn would be the spot for Giannis.
No, I think he'd just rather stay in Milwaukee if that was his option.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. So we will give you more developments as they come out, obviously, amongst everything else. We have to take a break for the day, though. We will be back tomorrow, 7 to 9 a.m.
Fantasy Friday.
We'll be starting our Fantasy Fridays. Top 10 quarterbacks in fantasy football tomorrow. Not sure when we're going to drop that for you. And then if you're in the Bakersfield area, once again, Brunch Fest tickets tomorrow. Last chance to get them from us. Until then, we have to take a break. Get out of the way for the great Rich Eisen. Sparky, let's get out of here.